If your dog fixates on other dogs when it's healing, or birds, or squirrels, or ducks, and things like that, and you can't get its focus to look at you, then in this video, I'm going to show you how to get your dog to focus on you. If you struggle to get your dog's attention around other dogs, or when it sees a squirrel or a bird or a duck or a cow or a sheep, something like that, then the reason being is because you've missed out some vital training in the basic obedience stage. One of the easiest ways to get your dog's attention is to practice it. To get focus, we need to practice. Same as everything with dogs, we've got to practice everything, right? The easiest thing to do is literally get your dog to sit still by your side and just say its name. Each time your dog looks at you, praise your dog for looking at you. So just do this, watch. Nelly, that's a good girl, what a good girl. Notice the voice that I use that little high-pitched voice. Now wait till Nelly isn't looking at me. Hang on. Nelly, oh, what a good girl. She's a good girl. So lots of fuss when they look at you. You want to do this literally 2 or 3 times a day, but at least 5 times each session. Wait till she's looking away again. Nelly, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. Now, when your dog looks at you and you give the dog the fuss, you don't want your dog being silly and messing about. You want them just to sit still and accept the fuss to let you know that they recognize that they've looked at you for knowing their name, basically. Nelly, what a good girl. What a good girl. That's the start of it. Now, once you've mastered it with the dog sitting by the side of you, and every single time the dog looks at you and you praise them, they understand, then you move on to the next part. The next part is do exactly the same, but when you're healing. So it's like this. Nelly, heel. So I'll say Nelly's name. Nelly, oh, she's a good girl. And just give him a little fuss. So we'll turn around as we heal. I'll say a name. Nelly, that's a good girl. So as soon as they give you that look, then all you do is let them know she's being good. So in other words, you're getting recognition for every time that you say their name and they understand. Nelly, good girl. And this then will help when your dog's fixated on things, and you then can start then to just say the name, and they'll then start to flip their focus and turn onto you. Nelly, good girl. Make sense? So practice, 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 but only get onto this stage once you've nailed the first stage. Don't jump and skip. Nail the first stage first. Promise me you will, right? Once you've done the first 2 steps, and promise me you haven't skipped them, the next thing you do is before you say any command to the dog, say their name. So then straight away the dog looks at you instantly. So before you heel, you say the dog's name. So you'd say Nelly, good girl. Then you say heel and you'd walk off. So you want to get used to when you say get them to sit, to stay. Nelly, sit. Nelly, stay. Nelly, heel. So you're saying the name first. As soon as they give you what I call the eye, so as soon as they look at you and they give you the eye, that's then when you want to say good girl, and just get them used to every single time that you say the name, they're like this, boom, and they're looking at you straight away. Once you do that, then if you do get in a situation where your dog's fixated on something, you can say their name and they can change. Now remember, and this is the important thing, if your dog is fixated on something, all it is a thought inside your dog's head, and you've got to change that thought. And one of the easiest ways to change that thought is by using your lead. So if your dog is fixated on something, you say their name. If that doesn't work, you pop on the lead. So pop on the lead and then say the name. As soon as they look at you, what a good girl, what a good boy. Yeah, so you instantly like that. I promise you then, doing those things, your training will dramatically change for the better. You'll get a dog then that wants to look at you, get a dog then that wants to engage with you, and once you've got a dog like that, then you can start to train a dog and really, really start to train a dog. So by teaching this, we're teaching the dog that the more they look at you, the more then the treat will come, and the treat will be a little fuss. Now, it's entirely up to you if you want to give the dog a treat. It's very, very rare I train with treats. I only train with treats on recall. But if you want to use a treat, you can. But for me, a treat for my dogs is a nice little fuss. So you can get something like this. Heel. You can see now how. Nelly, good girl. Nelly, oh, she's a good girl. So she's expecting a little fuss. Nelly, good girl. So she's expecting that fuss. She's expecting that look, that treat. Good girl. Nelly, good girl. What you'll see now with Nelly as well, it's quite rare that Nelly takes her eyes off me. She's always checking in. Oh, she's a good girl. And when she does, praise. Give them that foot or give them that treat, whatever you want to do. Yeah, doing that. When you teach that praise, you teach that recognition from them, everything will change for you. Nelly, that's a good girl. So when does this really come into its own then? Well, just like this. So you can then take your lead off your dog. You can take the lead straight off the dog. You can let the dog go and play. And watch this. Nelly, go on, go play. Go play. Nelly, go on, go play. Go play. Once Nelly's doing her own little thing, you can call them and they'll instantly want to come back because they want to come back for that fuss. Nelly, come. That's a good girl. Yes, that's a good girl. Go on then, go play. Instantly they look at you straight away. So set this good foundation work in first and you'll reap the rewards, I promise you. Now, Nelly's now having a really good sniff at something. So, Nelly, come. Good girl. Yes, what a good girl. So, train for perfection. Hey, you might get 90 or 95%, right? Now, there's two other really good ways to get your dog to focus on you, and it's all down to heel work. The speed of your heel work matters when you take your dog for a walk. You want to go fast, you want to go slow, then fast, then slow, and do lots of intermittent like that, because what that does is then your dog then is forever checking in with you to make sure they're doing things right. So just like this. So we'll go nice and slow first. So as we go slow, as you can see now, Nelly is constantly looking at me and I'm going slow. Then we go fast. Like this, and again, look, the dog then has got to focus on you when you go fast, and then when you go slow, look at this, look where she is, look, she's totally concentrating on me. So go fast, go slow, that's the first thing to do. Now the next thing with heel work is get yourself and your dog into a habit that each time that you stop when you walk, your dog sits. Your dog then will have to keep checking in with you all the time. So let me show you how you do that. So what you do is you walk to heel normally. What you do is, when you stop, you just give the lead a tiny little pop. So what you do is, as you stop, you go pop like that. Good girl. And see how the dog looks at you? Yeah, see how he looks at me? Same again, watch. So every time that you stop, you just go pop, pop the lead. Good girl, good girl. The dog then very quickly understands that every time that they stop, they must sit. So watch. Now, straight away, without saying nothing, you can see Nelly sitting down, but what does she do? Instantly, she's looking up at me all the time, so I'm getting her focus, I'm getting her attention. So this is what you want to do. Train that each time that when you stop, just give the lead a tiny little pop. So you do this, pop, good girl, and don't forget the praise is so important. You've got to praise your dog. Look, see what she's looking now? She's looking instantly at me. That's a good girl. So you've got to praise your dog. So get into that habit that each time you stop, that your dog sits down straight away, and that will get focus on you. And every time then your dog is fixated on something, you just call the name, and it's going to break that focus, it's going to break that thought inside their head, and then you'll be able to get them under control again. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and you picked up some tips and tricks that you can use in your dog's training. Don't forget, there's loads of different ways that we can help. There's one-to-ones, there's online coaching, there's workshops. I mean, it's endless. Pop yourselves over to thedogtherapist.co.uk, and I'll see you all soon on the next video. And I think it's time for Nelly to have a little retrieve. We'll see you soon, guys. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Stay.